Divorce is never easy. But what happens when you can't agree with your soon-to-be ex about the issues in your divorce? In this episode, we'll discuss what you need to know about contested divorces in Massachusetts. Your marriage is coming to an end. You've done the best you can to make it work, but it's just not meant to be. You may be feeling angry, hurt, and frightened of what's to come. On top of all that, you have to deal with the legal process and the cost. That's where we come in. We offer experienced legal help you can afford. The divorce process is a difficult road, but together we can get you through it. Once you're on the other side, you'll see that there's a better, brighter life waiting for you. What is a contested divorce? A contested divorce in Massachusetts is also referred to as a 1B. That's where you can't agree on everything, including how to divide the property and the house, alimony, child support, and child custody. Even if there's just one issue unresolved, you must go on the contested divorce track. That involves fighting with your spouse and ultimately taking your case to trial. It takes longer, it's more expensive, and more stressful, but you can get through it. Who can file for divorce in Massachusetts? There are two ways you can qualify for a Massachusetts divorce. The first is if you or your spouse were residents of Massachusetts for at least 1 year prior to filing for divorce. You can also file if you and your spouse lived here as a couple and the cause of your breakup happened here in Massachusetts. For instance, if somebody had an affair here in Massachusetts and that's what led to the end of your marriage. How do you file for divorce in Massachusetts? In order to file for divorce, you have to file 5 documents. Those documents include a certified marriage certificate, a complaint for divorce, something called a record of absolute divorce, a military affidavit, and a financial statement. If you have children together, there are 2 more documents that must be filed. They are the affidavit of care and custody, as well as a child support guidelines worksheet. You take all of those documents, bring them to the court, and you must pay the filing fee in order to get started. What are automatic restraining orders? Automatic restraining orders are restrictions that are put in place in every divorce. It has to do with your finances, so it's not like a restraining order in, say, domestic violence cases. When do they go into effect? Well, they go into effect for the petitioner, that's the person filing for the divorce, when the divorce is filed. It goes into effect for the respondent, that's the person that's being served, once they are served with the documents from the court. It prevents you from doing certain things, such as selling property, incurring debt that would be a burden to the other party, changing the beneficiary on any insurance or investment policy, or changing any health insurance policies. Before we discuss the divorce process and divorce trials, I just want to let you know that if you're considering getting a divorce in Massachusetts, go to affordlaw.org/checklist. We've put together a checklist of the 7 most important things you should be thinking about while you're going through the divorce process. And if you're looking for an affordable divorce attorney, we can help you out there as well. Our fees are based on your income, so the less you earn, the less you pay. What is the divorce process? Well, first you must file the paperwork. You take that down to the court, and the court will give you a summons. You must then serve the summons and the complaint on your spouse by using a sheriff or a constable. Your spouse then has to file an answer and a counterclaim, if any, as well as a financial form. You'll then move on to temporary orders, the discovery phase, a pretrial conference will be held, and ultimately, if all things are not resolved, a trial. What are temporary orders? Well, divorce takes time. Something needs to be in place during that time. Temporary orders establish rights and obligations while you're going through your divorce. They address such issues as who gets to live in the home, who pays the bills, spousal support, child custody and parenting time, as well as child support. What is discovery? Discovery is basically an exchange of information between yourself and your spouse, so there are no surprises at trial, and it also helps in negotiations. Discovery consists of several things, including interrogatories, which are written questions which are answered under oath. Requests for production of documents. These are usually for financial information, such as bank records and investment records. Requests for admissions, and depositions. What is a pretrial conference? A pretrial conference is a court date to help prepare for trial. It's designed to narrow the issues. It will be held at least 6 months after the filing date. A pretrial notice and order will be sent by the court. You're required to meet with your spouse and all the attorneys. After that meeting, a pretrial memo must be filed. In that memo, you must include things such as the issues that have to be resolved, witness lists, and any evidence that will be presented. If all the issues are agreed to on that day, the judge may issue an order. Any contested issue, a trial date is set. What to expect at your divorce trial? If you can't agree on everything, you must go to trial. However, only a small percentage of cases actually go to trial. Mainly that's because trials are expensive, stressful, and there's a loss of control. You're leaving it up to the judge to decide. Trials in family courts are by judge only. There are no juries. You submit exhibits, call witnesses. You and your spouse may testify as well. After the trial, a divorce nisi enters. That judgment becomes final after the waiting period. What is a divorce nisi? A divorce nisi is a divorce that is not final. Nisi is a waiting period. Your divorce will become final automatically at the end of that waiting period. So what happens is, after a trial, a judge makes rulings. These rulings are called a judgment of divorce nisi. All the issues are addressed, so child custody, child support, alimony, divisions of assets, everything. Those orders go into effect immediately, even though they are not final. The nisi period gives you a chance to reconcile with your ex if you want to, or to bring something to the court's attention, such as your ex lied or hid assets. If there are no issues, the divorce is final in 90 days. For more information on Massachusetts divorces, please see our next video.